I think this song fits for tonight's review. See you, man. Hey man, I'm sure everybody knows what that song means, especially regards tonight. Alexa, pause. Okay then. Now that I got out the way, because come on, that had to be done right there. Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. Hey, you know I had to play that song. You feel me? So, if you play SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, if I'm not mistaken, or you just like that song in general, I'm sure you know what it means in regards to tonight's review. Because this was a long one tonight, Money in the Bank. Now, I'm not going to say this was a bad show. I feel like it had its lost parts on there and some very bad referees tonight, if you ask me. A lot of miscues from referees. That was all over the place. But a show that I can't say I disliked all the way. I had my problems with a few points here and there, but I enjoyed most of the entire show. I will say that. There were some things that didn't need to be there, and there was some things that sucked, but you know, it had its up and downs through the night, because at first in the beginning, I thought it was kind of going horrible a little at first, but we kicked it off, Money in the Bank, off the pre-show. The Usos versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan for the Tag Team Championships, the SmackDown ones. I still say I find it odd that we have people from Raw competing for a SmackDown tag title, which makes no sense. I still even find it odd that Daniel Bryan is in a pre-show. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This guy went from being the WWE champion over a month ago at WrestleMania and now on the pre-show, which I can't say it was a bad match. I didn't really see what the Usos said at the beginning because my feed went out, but this wasn't actually a bad match, and I did enjoy the match, number one, and let the crowd with someone get into it. What just got me, though, was the Usos winning the match. That's what got me, all right? Because I didn't understand why. It was just, so let me get this straight. Rowan and Bryan were what, transitional champions? Because ever since they even held the belts, all they did was kind of lose. And how long did they hold them for, like, what, 3 weeks? If I'm not mistaken, 3 weeks, I think it was. Because they lost almost everybody. Like, every time I kept seeing them, they were in some match they were losing. Most of it was, what, Shane McMahon or just getting beat half the time? I don't know. That was just strange to me. And you know, let me find it also out. I should have known they were losing the championships once, they were the first ones that came out. I always have a problem with that when the champions come out first, because if you know the champions are going to come out first, it's almost 9 times out of 10, you know they're going to lose. So that was kind of another dead giveaway, but it makes literally no sense, because I was just like, just screw the brand split, okay? Like, just screw it, because I didn't think it made literally no type of sense. Yeah, so I don't really know where this goes or where this is really leading to, because it's just going to look odd now. You got Raw guys holding the SmackDown belts, unless now they do the same match again on Tuesday and they just drop the belts right back to you know, Bryan and Rowan, because even I just kind of figured out wondering, like, why did the Usos need to win this? And I still think it's odd that you have commercial breaks during a title match, especially during a pre-show match. I know it's a pre-show match, but still, it's during a title match on a pay-per-view, which literally makes no type of sense. But it was an overall good match. I just didn't really expect Bryan and Rowan to lose. I just kind of expected them just to go over. So with the Usos, who literally did nothing to get a title shot anyway, won the belts right here. So, very strange from that. But to kick off the Money in the Bank, you know, show, one thing I will say, they did acknowledge a graphic with, you know, the death of Ashley Mazzaro, so at least they showed respect from there. We kicked it off with the women's Money in the Bank. First off with Bumblebee or Naomi, or if you know anything about DC Comics. So, hey, if you even watched the Teen Titans show before, you know who Bumblebee is. Or if you watched Young Justice, you know who Bumblebee is. That's who Naomi was dressed as. Even kind of had Like I don't know, like I said, I don't know Bumblebee that well. I forget what her weapons are called. I have to look those up, but she pretty much cosplayed the whole thing, and it was pretty good. But Naomi, Natalya, Nikki Cross, last minute, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, who had Sonya Deville with her, Bayley, and Carmella in this match. Because at first, let me say about this match, I'm not saying this match didn't get a lot of big reactions. It did, even though I felt like half the people that came out didn't get no reaction. But like as a match overall, I thought it was okay. Number one, I felt it was very botchy at one point, and it looked like the crowd was kind of not caring at one point. One spot I'm sure everybody saw was, I think it was a miscommunication with the ladder between Mandy Rose and Carmella. If you go back and look at it, I think the ladder was on the ground, and Mandy Rose had kicked the ladder. Yeah, she kicked the ladder, and I think it hit Carmella in her knee, which I believe she was like legitimately hurt because the referees had to check her in. Because if you actually look at it, like Mandy Rose was still trying to do something, but Carmella literally pushed her like really hard back away and says like, "Get off me," because I think she was like legitimately hurt, and she was gone from the match for a few minutes. Other spots I could say was, I thought this was one of the coolest ones, was Ember Moon doing the eclipse from the ladder from the outside onto the inside on Natalya, which drew holy shit chants then, so that was an awesome one to look at it. Next thing you know, Carmella did come back. She pretty much limped. Probably like a few minutes later, she was back with her knee bandage. She went out there pretty much trying to take anyone out. She was trying to get up the ladder, but Sonya Deville had stopped Carmella then. Deville pretty much had helped Mandy Rose, carrying her on her shoulders to get her to the ladder, but Bayley pretty much rose back up there, ran up the ladder, and pretty much won Money in the Bank briefcase then, winning the Money in the Bank match. So, like I said, it was botchy in this match, but especially that botch spot right there with Carmella's knee. But like I said, from the Eclipse or Nikki Cross doing the airplane spin, or even one thing I did like was when I don't know who was holding the ladder. It was like 4 of the women. They had 2 ladders and tried to charge it to Naomi. Naomi did like a split in like all the way to the ground. They all just hit each other, knocked each other down. But with Bayley winning the Money in the Bank, one thing that was noticed that people saw was when Charlie Caruso got in and pretty much bringing up her accomplishments with Sasha Banks. And well, we all know Sasha Banks is on Raw. I'm saying, you don't even know if Sasha Banks is still even in this company, to be honest. And some people are looking at this, and we're gonna say this later tonight too. The stuff they did tonight with Bayley is somewhat of a way to try and get Sasha to come back, since creative has screwed both of them in those tag team title thing, and we all know why Sasha's not even here right now. She's pretty much pulling a Pac and sitting home waiting for her contract to run out. Now, some people think, is this a way of trying to goat her back in the company? Say, hey, we changed things. Look at us. Come back. Or is this taking a shot at her? Because I was kind of finding out, like, wow, I really mentioned Sasha, huh? Okay, that was very, very interesting. Like, we know she's still on Raw. You won the titles and everything. Like, funny, you say she's still on Raw, but this girl has not even been seen since after WrestleMania. And there's been several reports that she's pretty much either left or is sitting at home waiting for her contract to run out. So it was very interesting that her name was mentioned right there. But Bayley says she won Money in the Bank, and that you can call her that now. And we were gonna see what goes on from that. But I will say one thing about Bayley, and this, I'll save it later when the next part of that thing, because I got a lot to say about with Bayley, especially winning Money in the Bank, because I was like, finally a change for Bayley, because they have, let's be honest, they have screwed this girl. Between her and Sasha, they have creatively screwed both of these women for multiple account of years now. But I'm gonna get back to them in a second. Triple H was on the phone in the back, talking to somebody, until Sami Zayn came in saying Braun Strowman was looking for him, and pretty much Triple H showing that Strowman was gone. But before we get into that, Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe in the U.S. title match. You're gonna see a lot of blood on this show too, surprisingly, tonight. Very hard way blood in a lot of these matches, which I can't even say this was much of a match. In fact, this match was at least a little bit more, a minute more than what we saw at WrestleMania. But looking at the time thing, it was 40 seconds more than what we saw at WrestleMania, because Mania was like, what, 1 minute, I believe, in all total. But this much, I can't really say much about this. What, Dominic was watching backstage. I think Ray did like a senton springboard on him, which just Samoa Joe's nose was just pretty much bleeding then after that, so her nose was pretty bloody. His nose was pretty bloody and it looked broken. And Joe tried to go for a power bomb, but I think Ray put into like a Hurricane Rana and he won. And I thought the referee screwed it up because his Samoa Joe's shoulder was up, if people didn't notice. Because at one point I'm like, so they screwed Samoa Joe again, huh? But this is where I said before, a lot of referees screwing up tonight, if you ask me. And I did not expect Rey Mysterio. I didn't think the match was going to be so quick. I thought this was going to be longer than we saw at WrestleMania. That's what I actually really thought. So you do another one of these quick matches. Which one of them is hurt? And then, you know, Ray's son comes out and celebrate. And I think Cole called him his teenage son or something like that. Like somebody said, the guy's 22 years old. And I'm thinking that Samoa Joe's going to attack Dominic because Joe pretty much came back out there. He attacked Rey Mysterio. He gave him a Uranage. He looked kind of bad on his shoulder. Dominic pretty much tried to tell Joe to stop as he kept trying to goad him in there. And then he hit him with a running senton in. And Dominic went to check on his kid. Dominic went to check on his dad. I actually thought Joe was going to attack Dominic, but it looks like that did not happen or anything. So, not going to happen. Yeah, so, I didn't, like I said, I thought he was going to attack him, but I did not expect this to be a minute match, okay? That's one thing I don't think anybody really expected here. Or a minute 40 match, really. So 40 more seconds. So I guess this feud continues. And when you think about it, 50-50 booking also, because, hey, Samoa Joe got a win at WrestleMania. Ray gets a win tonight and wins the U.S. title in a just very odd fashion in another quick match. So, hey, that's 2 title changes tonight, people. Next. I'm sure a lot of people did not really care about this, which I'm sure anyone didn't, or no one wants to continue seeing this feud. The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a cage match. Shane McMahon was out there first, which of course he had Greg Hamilton do his best in the world thing during his entrance. Listen, I'll say this. Miz is mostly more dominant in this match, almost like he did at WrestleMania. Well, yeah, pretty much almost similar to what he did at WrestleMania, but at least more dominant, where he kept getting his hands on Shane, because Shane was getting him, tried to get coast to coast, but Miz ended up grabbing him, taking him down. Even Shane had got a chair, but Miz had got the chair and pretty much tried to keep the door shut, and he even skull crushing finaled him onto the chair after beating him with it, but Shane put his leg on the rope, which this is a no disqualification match. In a cage match, anything goes. So I have no idea why rope breaks are in a cage match, or at least the announcers noticed it. The crowd pretty much starts chanting bullshit then, which I'm sure everyone did. I heard there was CM Punk chants, AEW chants, but I didn't hear that one. But that's what I read, saying there was some chants out there saying that from Twitter. But pretty much, after he got his foot on the bottom rope, Miz pretty much started beating hell out of Shane. He even did like the elbow drop, and he even did like a splash from the, he did like a splash from like kind of cage part of it, but on the ropes to it. But Shane had tried to escape again, and he had that triangle choke move, I believe, that whatever he does, and he tried to hold it in. But Miz pretty much stopped him. He tried to get back up the cage again, which this is where it just looked really screwy to me in this finish. All right. Pretty much, I guess it was another fluky win for Shane because Miz had caught Shane, but Shane was able to slip out of his shirt and fall all the way to the ground. So unfortunately, this feud continues between The Miz and Shane McMahon. I was hoping it was going to be over after this, but even if Miz would have won, it would have been another 50-50 booking. How long does this feud go into? What, SummerSlam? I don't really want to see it continuing, but hey, man, they love this Shane McMahon guy, man. He is a technical masterpiece, as some people are putting it. Wow, did you see that, man? This man may be the next WWE champion. I'm telling you, Shane McMahon, folks. Gotta reform something here, but Shane McMahon. But yeah, like I said though, with Shane McMahon and everything, pretty much still winning, continuing this nonsensical feud that no one doesn't really want to see. But hey, at least Miz, he had his hands on him. But still, we got to see another month or two of this, folks. The feud continues. What's next? Last man standing? Hell in a Cell? I don't know. Just got to find out and see. They also announced that Mick Foley will be on Raw tomorrow to announce a new title for WWE. Now, let me say something about this. Do we really need another belt in this company? Don't we think we have enough championships as it is already? And a lot of them are booked poorly. So why do we need another title if you book half of these other belts very badly that don't really have a lot of value to them at this point and look like crap? And I'm seeing people going, oh, you know, maybe it's going to be a merge title. Maybe it's going to be the Hardcore Championship coming back. Listen, I would love to see the Hardcore Championship back, okay? I'd love to see the 24/7 rule back. I love that belt at the time. Anybody can win that championship. You can come 50-time champion if you want to. How many times was Crash Holly the champion, huh? Please tell me that, because that guy was like several times the Hardcore champion. I used to love the skits they used to do with the Hardcore title, and, you know, anybody could win. And never matter where you are, where you're at, where you're gonna be, you can win the Hardcore Championship. Will they bring that belt back tomorrow? I don't know. I'd like to see it, but just in general, do we really need to see another championship? This company has enough belts and don't know how to book half of them right anyway, so I don't need to see it. And I guess Mick's just there to pop the crowd anyways too, so I'm not really sure about adding another championship to the roster. Maybe it's the Hardcore title. I'll probably be okay with it, but if you're making up some new belt for whatever reason or whatever you're trying to prove here, I really don't care unless this is probably the Hardcore belt or something, because not really interested in seeing another championship belt added to this show. They pretty much showed Triple H then running to the back where Sami Zayn was hanging upside down as they were trying to figure out what happened to him. Next, Cruiserweight title on the line, Tony Nese versus Ari Daivari. I didn't even think this match was going to be on the main show, to be honest. I don't think nobody did. I didn't expect it. I found it odd that Tony Nese is the champion. He came out first, and Daivari comes out in some cool-looking sports car, which kind of told me he was going to lose anyways, but then again, they had the champion come out first. Listen, I've said this many times on 205, and, you know, I find it funny that Buddy Murphy couldn't get a main roster match with the Cruiserweight title. Or he had one Survivor Series, but you know, he was on the pre-show at WrestleMania with Nese, but somehow Daivari and Tony Nese are, you know, on the main show. Listen, this match wasn't really bad, but no one doesn't really seem to care, okay? I don't even think Daivari's that good. Even what I've seen from him on 205 Live, I didn't think he was that good. Tony Nese, he's okay. I think he put on a solid match. I think they did okay out there, but I've said this before. Nobody's watching 205 Live. Why do they have a show? Listen, I heard the shows got better nowadays since, you know, Triple H, you know, took control of it. But still, is anybody really waiting after SmackDown to see this show? Last time I saw 205, which I just gave up on that show a long time ago anyways. But half the time when you looked in the crowd, there's no one there. Everyone left right after SmackDown. No one's there, okay? And no one really cares about any of these Cruiserweight guys. Now, unless you move up to the main roster like you did with, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and, you know, or whatever Buddy Murphy's debuting on the main roster, then that's the only way they're going to know. Listen, I'm sure everyone has said this idea several times. Just take the Cruiserweights in the show, just put them on Raw and SmackDown, and we'll just go from there, because this whole 205 Cruiserweight title thing, no one cared. People probably looked at this as the bathroom break match or something. Some people say they looked at this as a match so they can go watch Game of Thrones since that show is ending tonight. Which they said WWE booked this show. I've been hearing about how they've been booking the matches. So, you know, because they had to compete with the finale of Game of Thrones, where people have already been complaining about the show, about how the last season has been, how things were written. Listen, I don't know that much about Game of Thrones, so I'm not going to speak that much on that because I didn't really watch the show, like that. So that's my own thing, but that's what I heard, the reason they booked it. But like I said, it wasn't a bad match. It's just no one cared. You could see that in the crowd. It was like crickets out there. Everybody was just silent. Even you look at the reaction. No one did not care about this match, okay? They don't even probably know who these guys were. They even probably know it was a cruiserweight title. They probably don't even know what 205 Live is. They don't know. None of these people knew. None of them. I didn't even... I just sat there wondering, like, so Daivari has a title shot. Why? Give me some context into this, because I don't know what's going on over there. I don't watch the show. So the match was good. It was a solid match, but who cared? I'm just surprised this wasn't on the pre-show, surprisingly. I'm really surprised this wasn't on there. So I said they're only probably going to know these people if they just put them on the main roster. That's the only way that's going to help and just end this show. But people have been saying that for over a year or two now. So I don't know if we're going to see more of these cruiserweight title matches on main pay-per-views. I don't know. But I'm just surprised this one wasn't on the pre-show this time. Triple H pretty much was talking to Braun Strowman, told him, we know you did it. You attacked Sami Zayn. Strowman says he didn't do it, but listen, I'm not going to call the police. I'm not going to have you escorted out. As of your boss, I'm going to ask you to leave. Strowman pretty much said whatever and left after that, but pretty much then, since he didn't attack him, who did attack him? But next thing you know, we had Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's title. First off, okay, this Lacey Evans, what was with this entrance? When I saw her entrance, this was, I guess it was like a Southern thing with where was it? She like ripped off the skirt and had like these gun holsters. Like this was some Old West type of gunslinging thing, and like just start shooting out money out of the gun holsters and stuff. I'm thinking, like, this is damn near stripper level. This is something you see in a strip club, okay? Like, you really would see some stuff like this. Even if I say, are you going to a wrestling match or are you going to a strip club to strip? That's what I kind of wondered, because that's what her gear really looked like to me with the green and stuff. I'm like, she about to strip or something? Because she's shooting money out the guns, and you would see something like that in there, okay? And I'm sure it was some jokes saying, hey, man, no, she's shooting out the Okada bucks. Like, she's trying to be Okada. I'm like, really? She's trying to be Okada? Okay. Which, even me and my buddy said this. We questioned why was she even now in this match, in this position, that she's coming out to wrestle like this. And it's like people said before, she has this military background, but they don't use it, but they continue to use this Southern belle or borderline stripper. I don't even know what that entrance was really, but of course Becky is over. People chant Becky 2 belts. The match itself was, I don't even know, it was okay, it was passable. And I got my prediction right on this, at least with Becky winning, even though I swear to God, when Lacey Evans, because I know people will say, oh, she was a great heel out there, she wiped the sweat off her armpit and shoved it into Becky's face and everything, but she rolled up Becky for the win. But the referee, I'm sitting there looking like, count, why aren't you counting? And he's just looking like, I guess her shoulders weren't that up or something. That was the strange part about it, like, because you could just see him count, and he had to walk all the way to the other side, which Becky pretty much got out of the pin and immediately put in the disarmer, pretty much tapping out Lacey Evans in mere seconds, which, like I said, this match was passable at least. It's not really to write home about or nothing, because it's just funny that they even have this girl in this position to begin with. So I just find that funny to me. Sorry about that. Reading some, but like I said, I just kind of found it funny that they did that. But that referee, man, it's just like he did never. He's like, I'm sitting there wondering why didn't he count? But I guess her shoulder was up, so he couldn't count. Had to run all the way to the other side. But like I said, this match, I just didn't think it needed to happen. But pretty much then right after, like immediately right after, which I kind of figured was gonna happen, Charlotte comes out. She's got to do her part of the match now for the SmackDown Women's Tag Title. Which at least this was a better match, but Becky was pretty much almost about to get the win on Charlotte, but pretty much as Charlotte was out of the ring then on ringside, Lacey Evans came back, pretty much gave Becky the women's right. After that, Charlotte had hit her. Was about to hit her with a exploder, but Becky rolled it in. Charlotte got out of it. Big boot to the face. Charlotte wins, what is this, 9-10 times the champion, I think, at this point. Which, I figured this was going to happen. I said it before. Becky was not going to hold both of these belts that long. I'm sorry. She wasn't. She was going to be walking away with one of these belts. Would I have been surprised if Lacey Evans won the Raw one? In a way, yes. But at the same time, no. Because I expected the company to pull something like this. But like I said before, in the past, what has Lacey Evans done to get one title shot? She's finally had a match on this show. So there you go. So I wasn't really surprised by Charlotte winning. I really expected Charlotte to win, to be honest. Now, though, I think it was kind of crazy that, I know, did she really need to have, get help from Lacey Evans? Not really, but some are saying, well, Lacey needed her heat back. So that this feud will at least continue on with Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. So that's going to continue for the Raw title, which is just, especially right after pretty much both women started brawling in. Charlotte had got involved, and as they were trying to beat her up, Bayley came out with the Money in the Bank briefcase, pretty much tagged both of them, helping Becky then after that. Charlotte, pretty much took out both of them then. She was about to get the title and hit Bayley with it, but Bayley dodged, knocking Charlotte into the corner. Bayley got the briefcase and just sat there for almost 2 or 3 minutes, wondering like, well, what do I do? 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 Just finally gives it to the referee, cashing in the contract and hitting an elbow. Now becoming the new SmackDown Women's Championship, and the crowd went insane for this. Very insane. And listen, hey, it may have not. I didn't really expect it to be cashed on the same night. In a way, I did, but I thought they were gonna wait this out. But I don't think a lot of people had any type of problems with Bayley cashing, the briefcase on Charlotte. Because I will say this, like I said before, it's finally glad that Bayley is going somewhere, and this now can create some fresh matches now. Okay, because let's be honest, Bayley has been in creative hell for the past 2 to 3 years now, and people thought she would never come back, okay? They thought she would never come back. Like, ever since that whole Alexa Bliss, Kendo Stick, whatever match, whatever you want to go with, that was the end of Bayley. Probably like, what was it, 2017, 16, when they pretty much buried her and she never came back from that. Yeah, that's when she was pretty much dead from that point on in time. And pretty much she literally had no reaction coming out there. Okay, they literally just murdered. They murdered Bayley. Ever since that, Bayley never came back and was never the same. But just through that, and when they got the tag titles, like with some momentum actually coming up with her and Sasha. But then they lost the titles, and I guess Sasha was just pretty much fed up with it at this point. That she, which we know at this time, she's not pretty much in the company. She pretty much walked out in the company right now. So, and I know people looking at this right now with Bayley win the title. Is this a way to goat Sasha back in to say, hey, we can change things. Look, your friend's the champion. Maybe you two can face off now. I don't know. I don't know what Sasha's gonna do. So, that we'll say that for another time. Maybe this week if something happens, but I highly doubt that because we have not seen Sasha ever since. So I just kind of found it strange that they mentioned her name throughout the night. But, just to say, like I said, the whole thing, the same thing with, the whole thing with Bayley though, that finally they've done something with this girl. Finally, okay? It doesn't really matter how this match went. I just think people were just glad that Bayley is the champion and it's a change, because I didn't really need to see Charlotte in another title reign anyways. But I know some people saying this right now. This sets up now for Bayley versus Charlotte again, and Charlotte will be a 10-time champion. Listen, we know she's Ric Flair #2. That's gonna happen, okay? That give in time. We know that's gonna happen. She will be over 16, 17, 20-time champion soon enough. We know that's gonna happen. But like I said, I gotta admit, I did stood up when Bayley won the title, because even I said finally they are doing something with this girl, and she has literally crawled her way or kicked her way through the just creative hell. So let's hoping for a lot of positive in this title reign, and hopefully it goes better than the last time she held the title, because I think that was the Raw Women's title, and we all know how bad that went. So now hopefully this can be a change and they don't screw this up. We know creative will screw this up one way or another, but hopefully they don't screw this one up. So I think fans were just ecstatic that Bayley won the title though and cashed in on the same night. Next was Roman Reigns, I guess, was walking to the ring, but Elias hit him in the back with a guitar. Elias had a electric guitar in, pretty much, talking about Vince and, singing about the Hartford crowd, and, talking about North Carolina, when he just talked about all these cities then, and he understands why the Warriors left Hartford, Connecticut, and, he says, good night, and I don't love any of you, or something like that. I'm out of here. And as he walked, next thing you know, Roman comes out of nowhere, Superman punch, begin the match, 10 seconds, spear, there you go, boom, 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 gone, it's over. Elias buried. What was the point of even allying yourself with Shane McMahon? He didn't even help. This man could have been part of the next Mean Street Posse, and it did not work for him. So everything that happened with Elias, just whatever they did with him and Roman for these past few weeks, it means nothing. Now, I know some people say the reason why they did it because Game of Thrones was starting. I don't know. I think they did this match because they didn't want to piss off the crowd and have them hijack this match, because they know they would have done it. Everyone knows the crowd would have hijacked out of this match. I knew it was coming, okay? So it would have happened. To be honest, I thought it would have happened one way or another. The crowd was just gonna we're taking over the show, because no one really cared about this match. So it ended up just ending in 10 seconds. Elias, where does he go from here? I don't know. He's buried. Okay, they just buried him even more. So it's strange. We did a whole musical performance and everything with electric guitar just to have this guy lose in 10 seconds. So hey, who really saw Roman losing? To be honest, who really did? But next thing you know, we get to, I would say, one of the best matches of the night. Probably the best match of the night. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the Universal Championship. There wasn't a lot of really build in this match, but hey, the crowd was with this match, and they put on one hell of a match. I can say that. This was insane, from Seth doing a suicide dive on AJ Styles to the announce table, which was pretty crazy. My God, there was so many insane spots out there. It's hard to even name them all. I will say that. But this was just a fantastic match, okay? Even like my friend said, this was like New Japan level, okay? This was almost New Japan level. These two were going out there. And I'm sure the spot that everybody knows and everybody saw, which they loved, was when Rollins was about to go for because he was about to go for the curb stomp. I did like how AJ did counter it the first time, hit the calf killer on him and everything, and even Seth doing, that reverse DDT thing, because you know how he does the suplex into a Falcon Arrow. He does, it was on a reverse one, and he does the suplex but in reverse, and then almost like a reverse Falcon Arrow on AJ Styles for a great near fall. That was insane. Styles hitting that whole reverse DDT thing just looked cool, and he even tried to charge back into Seth, which he got hit by a super kick then. AJ even tried to do a Pele kick, which, Seth, dodged it and super kicks the guy in the face. He's on the ground. Seth goes for the freaking curb stomp, but AJ just lifts him, catches him, and this could have gone very sloppy the way it really wrong. AJ catches him in midair, does a Styles Clash for an incredible 2 count. That was probably the best spot of that entire match, okay? The dude just did a curb stomp into a Styles Clash. That was just insane. I stood up, man. I just kind of stood up and jumped for a minute because that spot was just insane to look at. That was just awesome. But pretty much AJ went for the forearm then, but Rollins dodged it. He hit him with his, I still call it a V-trigger, or trying to copy Kenny Omega doing that, but that ripcord knee as they call it, or the Kingslayer, or whatever it's called. It's almost like a Rainmaker into a V-trigger, but pretty much after that, he hit him with a super kick, and then he did one more curb stomp for the win. 1, 2, 3. These guys went nearly 20 minutes out there, put on a fantastic match. I did not really expect AJ Styles to lose clean, though. That's what I did not expect that. I'm like, really? He lost clean, but when AJ left the ring, he got back in and went face to face with Rollins, and pretty much, held out his hand for a handshake, and they shook hands. So I don't think this is over by a long shot, and I expect this to continue since AJ looked kind of frustrated from this. Did I really expect him to attack Rollins right there? No, in a way I did, but I think they just want to wait on that. So I'm sure we're gonna see another match from these two. And I'm looking forward to it if there's gonna be another match with these guys. I got no problem with that. So whenever that match happens, I'm sure it's gonna be great. So that's gonna be big. But like I said, Rollins still retained the Universal Championship. Probably one of the best matches on the night up there. I would say almost the best match on the night, before we get into the main event. But I would say this was probably the best match of the night. They interviewed Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods backstage. As he's talking about he's going to be defending the WWE title tonight, which I will say here too. The WWE title got the semi-main event. I didn't think that was going to happen. I almost thought the WWE title was going to be the main event, and the Universal is going to be the co-main event. I was surprised the WWE title got later in the match, but I feel like the crowd was kind of spent from after this because next thing you know, they bring the Lucha House Party out for some reason, and they talked about having a Lucha House Party, and next thing you know, they bring supposed racists out here, Lars Sullivan possibly, if you want to go by those tweets or anything, which I find it odd this guy is even on the show after what just kind of happened a few days ago with the whole $100,000 fine thing, and supposedly sensitivity training and all that stuff. So I don't know, it's a lot of things to say about that whole situation. I've already spoke on it. If you want to go look it up, go look on my SmackDown review. I'm not going to go back and explain everything of what I said about the whole Sullivan situation, but first off, the crowd's pretty much spent, so they did not really care. Honestly, this crowd didn't really care what was going on right here. They really didn't. So they were just kind of silent. And Sullivan comes out, and I remember, he throws Metalik and Dorado to the side, and, Kalisto charged at him. Sullivan, I believe, hit him with a forehead, and he cut his head real bad where it was just a lot of blood falling from there. So he did that running powerbomb on Kalisto then and pretty much left after that. Some people say this was Vince trolling, but I just don't think people give a crap about this guy. Listen, I've already talked about the guy before even all this, stuff came out online with all this supposed leaks and, racist stuff he said and everything, which I believe Kalisto even had responded to this whole thing when someone asked him, because I think his response on Twitter, I'm not sure, I have to go back and look it up, but I think he said, it's best he stays out of my way or something, because someone asked him about that whole situation, and I don't, like I said, I heard Kalisto talk about him, so he's not messing with this guy either, okay? He's not messing with him. So I don't know what the point. This was just filler, I guess, but dude, no one cared. No one cared. I don't think a lot of people care about the Lucha House Party. I really don't believe people really give a crap about Sullivan, and I'm sure people know in the crowd what his whole thing was, so that probably gives them another reason not to give a crap about this guy more and more. So what is the point of this? Because I didn't think he was getting reactions before when he was beating up guys in the ring. So like I said, you've heard what I've said about Sullivan before all this stuff online came out about him. I didn't think he was that good to begin with, so I sat there wondering what was the point of this segment. This done nothing, and the crowd was pretty much dead after that. But next thing you know, Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship. They did not really get that big a reaction when I expected Kofi to get a bigger reaction. I did like this match. I thought it was good. I will say that. it was a good match. I kind of expected Kofi to win anyways. I did like that. Some people said they did like when Owens did a sit down power bomb instead of just doing a pop up power bomb, which I actually thought he was about to get the win right there. He tried to go for a stunner, but Kofi pretty much dodged it with Trouble in Paradise, knocking Owens to the floor, getting him back in then. Kevin Owens hit a Stone Cold Stunner after that, but Kofi had grabbed the bottom rope then. And, he tried to, here's the thing I got was weird. He takes Kofi's shoes off, which I didn't know what the point of this was. Why did you take his shoes? Throws him into the crowd, tries to go for a swanton. Kofi gets his knees up, and, pretty much Owens hurts himself. Hits the Trouble in Paradise and wins clean. Woods came out and celebrated with him. So it was a good match. It didn't really get that big of a reaction after it, but it was a good match out there. I will say that. I expected Kofi to win. I didn't really ever think he was losing the championship, to be honest. But I just think the crowd was just spent after the Universal title, because that was where a lot of their energy went. And I just felt like the crowd didn't really react to the WWE title that much. Okay, I really didn't. But I don't know what the point of Owens throwing the shoes into the crowd. I did not understand any of that. Of course, they talked about the Super Show, which, can I say I find it funny that they said the Super Showdown was way bigger than WrestleMania? Wow, they are just sucking off the Saudi Arabians and their blood money, man. They are sucking this off. They even got Demon Finn Balor to show up and defend the Intercontinental title against Almas over there for some reason. The Demon. Don't pull out the Demon that much, do you? But they do it for that. But we got to the main event then. Money in the Bank ladder match. The men's one. Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Andrade Cien Almas, and Finn Balor. No Sami Zayn. So it was a 7-man thing. I thought people actually thought Bray Wyatt was going to come out there. I was expecting that too, but I thought he would have attacked Sami Zayn in the back, but I was wrong. But pretty much Orton got outside as everybody started beating the crap out of each other then. Orton pretty much picked his spots by throwing Ali and, Ricochet, backdropping him into the table then, taking multiple guys out. Which you heard when is the last time you heard a Randy Orton chant and an RKO? Well, I heard RKO chants, but when is the last time you ever really hear a Randy Orton chant? Even Orton looked around. He looked kind of surprised when he heard that, because I was like, wow, a Randy Orton chant. I don't really hear about those, but this match here was insane. This may be one of the best Money in the Bank matches in recent years. I will say that. These guys were nearly killing each other out there tonight. You want to talk about death spots? This was death out here tonight. These were just some insane freaking spots, okay? From what? McIntyre throwing Ricochet into the ladder looked pretty crazy. The biggest one was almost just, holy shit, man. Almost did like pretty much a sunset power bomb off the ladder, and he power bombed Finn Balor. Sunset power bomb into another ladder that was hanging like a bridge onto the ropes on Finn Balor, which he power bombed him into it, and Finn Balor just bounced. He like bounced like really high after falling on that ladder, which the crowd just chanted "Holy shit!" Then that was insane. That was probably one of the most brutal spots. Mustafa Ali hitting a freaking Spanish fly off the top of the ladder with Almas looked insane. I thought that was crazy. And Cole was just like, how are these guys I never even seen Cole emote that much, okay? Michael Cole was showing emotion out there on commentary, like, how are these guys doing this? What are they doing? Corbin chokeslamming Ali and through the announce table looked brutal. And, he threw McIntyre over then. Even hitting a very wicked deep 6 on Ricochet going out of the ring, catching him, just looked insane. Pretty much Corbin got hit with a Claymore kick in right after that. Balor tried to go for the briefcase, but McIntyre stopped him and suplexed him to another ladder, which looked pretty brutal. Holy shit, what else did they have going on? I think Ricochet pretty much hit like he had a dive on McIntyre after that, taking him out, but McIntyre pretty much caught him and he threw Ricochet over, pretty much putting Ricochet through a ladder. Okay, through a ladder, just snapped in half with the guy. He tried to go for the briefcase, but Orton pretty much came back in, RKO in midair, taking him out. Corbin then threw excuse me, Corbin pretty much he threw Orton into the side, into the turnbuckle then. Through there, he tried to go take Ali out. No, he tried to climb the ladder and get it, but Mustafa Ali stopped him then. And pretty much Corbin was going to put him into a powerbomb, but Ali pretty much hurricane rotted him out there. And before he could even get the briefcase, next thing you know, Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar just rushes down to the ring, knocks Mustafa Ali down. The crowd is just in shock and total surprise. He pretty much climbed the ladder, got it, and won the Money in the Bank match. I just didn't expect that. That surprised and shocked me. I will admit, I was very, very shocked, and I'm sure a lot of people are pissed off at that finish, okay? Does Lesnar really need the Money in the Bank? No. And I had to say right here, they had to pay this guy a crap load ton of money just to come out there and climb a ladder and just get the briefcase. That's it. That's all you had to do. Because what did they say? He just retired from UFC recently. I think he's not coming back, according to Dana White and them last time I read. So I guess WWE, we got to pay this guy more money. I guess we got to pay him a crap load of more money. All right. And just to do this, because like I said, I know people don't even want to see Brock get back in the championship picture. I don't even think people want to really see Brock back really much in general in WWE. Really, okay? Because I didn't even know how long this guy was going to be gone after WrestleMania. No one expected him to come back. This was an insane match, and these guys really killed each other out there themselves tonight. They were really killing each other out there, and this was a very great Money in the Bank match. So I'm not taking anything away from that, but I just don't think anybody expected Brock to come out and win. Like I said, I don't think people really wanted to see him win. I think, like I said, the Money in the Bank is, it's like people say, it's to create a star out of somebody pretty much for, someone that did need it. All right, someone that needed it. I know people thought Almas was going to win. I know people thought McIntyre was going to win. A lot of people I know thought those two were going to win. I personally, the person I betted on to win for Money in the Bank, though, I was either gonna kind of go with going with Finn or Orton. For some reason, I said Orton for some reason, but I can see why people wanted, Almas. I was kind of going with Almas, but after what he lost he won that match on Tuesday, I kind of figured he was gonna win. Like I said, I figured he wasn't going to win after that, but, I'm sure people thought Ricochet was probably going to win. Like, someone knew we all thought was going to win. I'm glad it wasn't Corbin, because I felt like WWE would screw around and do some stuff like that. But in a way, as someone told me from a kayfabe stance, when you look at it, it is a person's worst nightmare now, because especially we all most likely know Brock is going to cash that thing on Seth. So, the story now is that he could strike anytime. He can strike anytime on Seth Rollins. So with him having the Money in the Bank briefcase. Some people think this is for some Saudi Arabia thing because he's going to be over there. I don't know if that's true or how long he's going to have that Money in the Bank thing. This could go all the way up to SummerSlam for all I know if that happens. But I don't think, like I said, it was just shocking. No one really expected this. It was just a huge surprise. So that was just I didn't know what to think when I saw that, and I'm just sure people are just saying this was just a very weak finish to a very strong match. Overall, I will admit I don't think this was the worst show. I think they had a lot of its bad parts. I think there was a lot of screwy referees. I loved the AJ Styles and Seth Rollins match. That was match of the night. I thought the Money in the Bank ladder match, the one in the main event, the men's one was a great match that everyone, killed themselves. Other than the whole Brock coming out and winning the thing, though, I'm sure that was just a great match. Bayley winning and cashing in the Money in the Bank was a big thing too. I will say that. So that's another positive. So, like I said before, finally they are doing something with Bayley. What else was enjoyable on this show? I think that was like the three biggest parts, if you ask me. And I did like the WWE title match too, for what it was. The WWE Championship match. So I thought that was okay. But from some of the worst parts of the night though, what can I say? First off, I just didn't really expect the Usos to win the tag title, so I would say it was the worst thing, but I still think that's just kind of strange how that happened. It wasn't really a bad match, but strange. Elias buried, of course, by Roman Reigns. You can put that as a negative, so you got to make Roman look strong as possible, super strong if necessary. I did not. The Ray versus Joe thing was just disappointing again, just because it was a minute, and I don't think really anybody expected another title change. Like the post match stuff was okay, but come on, just add another 40 seconds than WrestleMania. That made no sense to me. A lot of screwy referees. I thought the women's Money in the Bank match was good. Very botchy, and like I already said, I already talked about the Carmella botch and all that. With her knee could possibly really be hurt, but like I said, the positive, like I said, they had a couple good spots on there, so it was what it was. I will say that. What else was on this show? The cruiserweights was just in a death spot. No one didn't care. They didn't care. Wasn't a bad match. I'm not going to say it wasn't bad, but still, no one in that crowd cared because they didn't probably know who any of these guys were. Solid match, but, dude, who's watching 205 Live? I'm serious. Who's watching 205 Live? Lars Sullivan and Lucha House Party, waste of time. Filler. Didn't need it. The Charlotte versus Becky match was, it was good. the Lacey versus Becky, nah. I just don't understand her with the pistol money tank strip entrance nearly. That's what I thought of it. Is there anything else I really need to add from this with Money in the Bank? Nah, I think that's pretty much it. So, like I said, this show had its good parts. It had its bad parts, but I'm not going to sit here and say it sucked all the way. Like, I just think like the crowd really got hyped up once the Universal title match did happen, and Bayley winning the championship. That's what I felt like the crowd was at its loudest throughout the night, and maybe Brock coming out with a surprise because the crowd was just in shock after that. And I will say one thing in the Money in the Bank match, they chanted "Yowie Wowie," so I almost expected Bray Wyatt to come out. So I guess you could tell his gimmick is getting over now. So since people are chanting that, so at least that's going somewhere. So like I said, Money in the Bank had its good and bad parts. I will say that. So I'm not gonna sit and say that this show sucked all the way, but there was some surprises, and there was it had its good and bad. But I'm gonna end this off from here. Comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about Money in the Bank tonight. Did you like it? Hate it? What was the best match? What was the worst match? I don't know. But like I said, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. So I'm out of here. It's me, the HWD, coming in to news and reviews. I know what I do. Coming here with the stank. So if you get a chance, go play some little scrappy and young bucks so you can get some money in the bank. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace.